The soldier carefully removed the fuse from the landmine and began to dig away the sand beside it. Just as he was about to pick up the disarmed mine, he unexpectedly discovered a wire connected to it. He immediately realized it was a double-fused mine, specifically designed to target mine-clearing soldiers. He quickly warned his teammate nearby not to move, but the sound of the wind by the sea was too loud, and his teammate couldn't hear him. The next moment, the mine exploded, and the teammate was blown to pieces, leaving no trace behind. The soldier's younger brother rushed over to check, but there was nothing left of his older brother. The younger brother was overwhelmed with grief and lost control of his emotions. The Danish officer, hearing the explosion, hurried over and saw the devastated boy. He escorted him back to the barracks. Looking at the boy, the officer realized that these were just children who wanted to go home. These German soldiers had been captured to clear the 1.5 million landmines that the Germans had buried along the Danish coast. Most of them had never been to the battlefield and were still underage. Yet, they were made to atone for the mistakes of their fathers. From that day on, the officer changed his attitude towards these boys. He treated them as friends and no longer kept them locked up. He would bring them food every day and even gave them days off. However, this peaceful situation didn't last long. One day, on their way back, a huge explosion rang out. The officer's dog was killed on the spot. The officer believed that the boys had deliberately left the mine, and he was furious. He made the boy kneel on the ground and bark like a dog, humiliating him with harsh words. Then he took the boys to the beach and forced them to stand in a row, hand in hand, using their lives to clear the mines. When one boy stood up to oppose this, he was brutally beaten by the officer. Under the officer's coercion, the boys had no choice but to stand in a row. Fortunately, they survived the first day without any casualties. As they returned to the barracks to discuss whether they should escape, the farmer's wife who had once poisoned them rushed in, crying and begging for help. It turned out that her daughter had wandered into a minefield. The boys quickly arrived at the scene and began to clear the mines with iron rods. As they were about to reach the girl, one boy directly crossed the barbed wire, walked straight to the girl, comforted her not to be afraid, and then carried her to his teammate. After that, he walked straight into the minefield. 3 months later, the boys had cleared all the mines from the beach. As they loaded the mines onto the truck, dreaming of going home, an uncleared mine exploded, killing 5 boys. The squad of 12 was now down to just 4. They had hoped to return to Germany, but the truck that was supposed to take them home drove them to another minefield instead. When the officer found out, he was furious and confronted the captain, demanding an explanation for the change of plans. The captain told the officer to get out. In the end, the officer forged a document, took the 4 boys out, and sent them to the border. The boys looked at the officer in disbelief before running towards the border as fast as they could. The officer, by defying orders, fulfilled his initial promise to the boys and completed his own redemption. He transformed from a vengeful officer into a compassionate and forgiving one.